Okay, guys, I'm in for the energy report. This will be good. Well, into the new year here, it kind of will overlay even my first readings when I come back at the end of January there. So they come in, hey, when I'm shuffling and whatnot, they tell me which decks to use, all of this stuff. So I got some little tidbits here on what to bring up, and we're going into 2022 here over the season. So we're looking at a 222, which is an energy of itself, but having the numerology of 6 year that we're going into. 5 is about challenges. When you look to the tarot cards, 5 is about challenges, crux points, tipping points. These are kind of things that I say in my readings. A lot of the 5 of Wands is struggle, and over ego, and 5 of Swords again, success at the expense of someone else, and then 5 of Cups. Well, that's disappointment, right? Feeling unemotional. So we're going to kind of dissect that in a way here, even if it's just at the end, because they said take all the 6s out of the tarot cards, and we're going to discuss that, riff that a little bit. So anyway, announcements will be at the end if I have any, and if not, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, all that. Let's get started. Okay. So again, we have these are the decks I have, the Isis cards coming in. So the first card you have in the Isis deck is the Lunar Queen, she of the Celestial Crescent. And right away, when mind my nails, I did not have time to do that today. The Lunar Queen, she is the queen of the moon. And what do you know? That is of secrets, universal secrets. She is like the high priestess. She knows things that she does not say. The sense they're giving me is that over this time, over the Christmas season and into the new year, as we start it, the energy is that secrets will be revealed, not only in our life, but in the world around us. This will be highly pivotal as we move into that 222 vibration. Okay. This is very close to my own soul path. This is about disclosure on all fronts. This is about transparency on all fronts. This is about revealing that she is in front of the moon and she will be behind it in the new year. They're going, this is us making an appearance at the end of the year. And as we move into the new year, we will be behind it, meaning we will see all that is illuminated by this moon. So that's on all levels, micro to macro, we can take this into account. It is, we have proof of this already, but it will be such that it will be to a higher degree. Again, political even. There's a lot of things being uncovered here. We still have a little bit of fight against the dark side here, trying to rise and say, oh, no, I did not eat the cookie. And, all of the chocolate is around the mouth, but they do not know it's there to be seen. These are all of the enlightened beings. They're starting to enlighten to the truth. But again, the dark side still thinks they have their claws in us. And as we go into that 222 vibration, that's the release point. That is energetically the frequency. We can no longer hold on to these people in power that do not deserve to be there, people in power that are lying as they are in there, and people in power that are of negative frequency. It will just dissipate. Towers will fall from the top of the tower. And I'm not saying that as a literal, but I'm saying these pyramid schemes, these people in power that are at the top are the ones that are going to start to fall. So the Lunar Queen is really warning you, as we have been instinctively warning, as we are feeling this coming to a head. We are feeling instinctively this is what it is. It's because everything's going to be exposed here. The Lunar Queen, she is of the night and the darkness that is hidden, but she cannot stay there because the light comes to bear. And this is really energetically, frequency-wise, year-wise, everything is at a culmination to be exposed. So boom, there it is. Next, Magic and ritual, crafting sacred practice. Isn't that something? What I'm getting. No, that can be on both ends. But what they're pushing here is the energy of darkness. Using all the trick bags they got, they're throwing them all into the bin here, and we're gonna, this is it. This is, so the magic and ritual here, unfortunately, I'm getting a dark center as for who is indulging in this the most, the dark side. Now, it is interesting to me, they are making me aware quite highly of this ring here that they are in. It's like they are secluded from movement, is the sense they're giving me. Look at this one here. She's in her truth. She's free. She can, and even though she's trying to spread her wings here, it's the energy is encased, and that's the sense they're giving me as we again move into a new frequency in a year in numerology, 222, adding up to 6. This frequency no longer allows, never mind planetary aspects and whatnot. Now they're playing off all this to get, but the problem here is universal energies favor the good, not the bad. And this is what they haven't been aligned to. But they're really getting tightened right down to where they can't move. You know, it's like we started out like this, our wings were free, and slowly over the end of the years we shift into, it's like a funneling into the energy of the 222 movement. We're like this, we cannot move, we cannot spread our wings anymore. We are going to be kind of like an eclipsed out, right? So the 12-12, I guess, you know, I do have to look into astrology here, because the more I feel it and sense it, the more they're going, you really need to study this, because the astrology really does have a lot to do with it. And even though we have the darkness in the mentality that we can gain access here, if you can only go up to 7, you can only go up to 7, but the light can go to 50. So they think their 7 is a win. This is kind of what's happening. And even though it's really, in the grand scheme of things, there's a big light up there going, yep, you play your card. And as you play your card, we're just going to keep wrapping. They're showing me a cartoon from when I was a kid, you know, Jack and the Beanstalk, is it? Where they have this big beanstalk, and then there's these little elves that are wrapping them up. It's like that. It's like they're going, whatever fits, right? They're taking from my energy zone. This is what fits. Because we're wrapping that giant, even though he feels like he's big and he's created a lot of fear in the people and in everything. He is now getting wrapped to where we just cannot do any more moves. We cannot make any more moves. And then all the people are going to run around. They're free because the giant's just laying there tied up. But now they can go about their business because everything's been released. Now I hope that is the case here. Because it's that's kind of what they're showing me, right? Over the new year, this has got to happen. We cannot have, you know, and this is the thing. We got to understand that on a deeper level. Anyway, magic and ritual, that is the dark side using all their tricks. And this is the last of it. This is the drain, kind of the big blurp in the drain before it goes all the way down. And there's no more in the bowl. So, next spiritual card, man, heavy. Stay true and be in your power. Osiris and Isis. And again, I love how they vilify Isis in the news. That is part of the agenda here, right? Isis is really the feminine movement. The feminine, the use of our heart and compassion. This is, right? So again, a lot of things tie in here. So Osiris and Isis, Lord and Lady of the divine authority. And this is also what we are moving into, is divine authority from the feminine side. Why? Because we have been in the masculine so far that we have created a tipping point where we realize that, you know, fear and aggression and forcefulness, it does not work. Spiritually, it does not work. So we got to shift into our heart and balance that out more. And it is going to go back a little more before it comes back to center. Complete center. We got to really, it's kind of like we got to feed the opposite, right? So the sense here that they're showing me, and I'm sorry, I'm going into government here, is a sense that we had government people where a lot of masculines were there. Again, we could have feminines in masculine energy, so keep that in mind. But we are truly going to have an infiltration of the feminine side. We can have masculine and feminine energy. This is coming from our true heart source. You know this, you see it in the eyes, you feel it in there. You can look at their face, they don't look stern, they don't look stressed, they have an air of ease and grace about them. This is the heart center. This is what we're trying to get to and whatnot. So again, stay true and be in your power. I feel like that is everybody just stay calm and don't let anyone pull your strings. So if you have triggers about race, about religion, about all of these things are going to be, all the strings are going to pull them all over this season. And again, we're in December. So they just don't have enough time to really get anything going here. Any momentum, it's just going to fizz out over the new year. But stay true. That is the spiritual advice here. Be in your power. What is your power? Come from your heart and pay attention to those that are of good and light instead of paying attention to the rhetoric that's going on and creating triggers, because that's really what they're just trying to do, is trigger everybody so that we go out violently, and then they can enforce things and go above, because he hit me first, and it's not like that, right? It's not like that. So we're trying to counterbalance, because what we need to do here is we need to let the beast hit us and then we walk away. But really the thing is, they're going, there's no pain here. We cannot create pain, and that's a line they have to cross karmically. So it's a chess move that they're going to cross it, because they only go to 7, right? When everybody else is going to 50, and again, they're starting to see that. A lot of the people are starting to see that on a different level. So anyway, a lot of heavy stuff there. Now, they're telling me to keep these cards here, so I will do that. Again, sorry about my nails. Adjust priorities here. I'm like helping my nephew rip apart a house. So, okay, now as we go into the spiritual side, one more step on top of the Lunar Queen. Again, the secrets that are going to be revealed over this time. It is a natural process here. We have desire, and a lot of people are in that energy of we have too much of a force of wanting to know what is going on, wanting to from our heart center. And I'll tell you, that's the most powerful center you can come from, is your heart. And as soon as you do that and you go, man, what is going on here? I need answers. The universe is going to supply. And this is what? There's so many people here desiring answers. Because instead of going out and beating up these people or whatever it is on the agenda here that they want us to trap into, okay? Instead of going out there and taking, what do you call that? Kicking butt and taking names, trying not to swear. We are coming into ourself and going into our spiritual selves, and suddenly getting into our heart center and asking the universe from our heart center, what is going on? And I feel like the direct answer is give it time, because it is unveiling itself slowly, and we are going to, so the desire to know is really going to be overruling the desire to fight these people, because it's a sense here we're just not going to get anywhere here. They're just going to clam up, they're just going to keep doing what they're doing. We're not going to get anywhere fighting. It's not a good fight. So this is what the desire is. We go inside and we commune with the energy, and the energy, one, can help us relax and de-stress from any energy that we may be accumulating outside of us, and then it connects to us to give us those answers. And then when we commune in that way, in a soul spirit way, then we start to see results on the outside. Okay, magic and ritual. Again, I feel like that's the dark side, just pulling all their tricks. They're using all the universal secrets that they can. But again, they just don't have the financial backing, if I can put it that They don't have the financial backing to carry on here. They really don't. And when you ain't got the funds, man, you just can't pull things through. So this is really what I see is petering, everything petering out from here. So on top of the magic and ritual, what do we get there? 6. Wow. Yeah. Look at that. 6 of air from this Gaia deck. Very powerful, black and white, right? It is the complete balance of the black and white. So no longer can the black be all the way up into here. Now we are going to balance that black with light. And that hasn't been revealed will be revealed so that it can be completely balanced out. So again, in my mind, in my perfect mind, I like to think that, the darkness, we get rid of it. It really cannot be gotten rid of, but it will be seen clearly. You go, oh yeah, that's dark, I don't want to go there. So you see it, you can make that choice wisely. No more trickery. Again, we can't completely, but the trickery, the tactics that they have is kind of kindergarten, and we're in grade 10 here. So it's just not going to work, right? Because we have a higher mentality, a higher spirituality, a higher inner wisdom that can just rise above all of this. So that's the sense they're giving me here. And again, right down the center, right? Center of my readings, that cannot be changed. Cannot change the fact that they are going to pull out every trick in their book. Every, little monkey wrench in their bag, they're going to pull it all out. But they also can't help that there is a great balance that will be no matter. This will be balanced out no matter. And in fact, it will be illuminated. And those that were kind of hiding in the grass are now going to be clearly jumping out into the universe to be seen. And then just smack, because they're showing me like, you use any little pesty object, but like mosquitoes or grasshoppers, and then smack, because they can walk in the grass and they're totally not seen. But as soon as they start hopping, right, they're seen, and then you can get rid of them or whatever. So this is how they're showing me. Yeah, the great balance will be struck, and it will be struck because the dark side is going to totally infiltrate everything. And again, this will be seen in a greater light. And as we move into this new year, as we flick over that new year, that is a frequency that just, that's when you get on the surfboard and you got that wave pushing you forward. That's the 6th year. And even though, as short-sighted as the dark side is, they really are being tricked, that they can pull off things that they energetically cannot. So this is, in a sense, they are being tricked at this time and have been up to from the last 6 months, they're saying. There's some trickery here in the way, because when we have an ego, we're easily fooled because we think that we are infallible. And yeah, we're going to get to that end. And they're like, there is no end. There is no end here. It's void, null and void. So this is kind of the universe's play saying, look, there ain't no pathway here. There's no pathway to go, but they're going down this path. And they don't realize they're just going to fall off the end of it. Okay, so there's that. Stay true to your power. Again, I feel like this public, humanity as a whole, countries as a whole, stay true and be in your power. We know where this sits intuitively. Grab onto it. On top of that energy, we get the Queen of Air, don't you know? 13 is the number. Wow. Yeah. Stay true and be in your power. And here, I would say it's a be in your wisdom, right? Because we have that white owl, the wisdom owl coming forth to bear. And that owl is connected. That is the connection. That is spiritual energy at its best, coming in to guide you, right? There's a face in the universe, and then there's the actual energy of the universal power, and it is guiding. It is flowing into a new way. Again, when we tip over into that 222, man, ain't nothing gonna stop this light stuff from coming in. Because that is 2 from the longest, or even before we could see that it would actually be in a number that we had, right? There were astrologers working on these numbers and numerologists working on this energy, like where does this sit? What does this come from? And again, carrying over the power. The Queen of Swords also has been through enough to understand how the world works. They understand there is a great balance that needs to be struck. And they also understand the great power that this bird of wisdom is trying to impart us with, trying to lead us to, right? And that is the great instinct that we have here. And they keep taking me back to the kindergarten yard, or the playground at the, preschool or whatever, where kids get in fights. And how do you get them in fights? Well, you poke, he's poking me. Quit poking me until you irritate and agitate. And this is the tipping point. We're irritated and agitated, but we haven't stood up yet. He's poking me. You're kind of backing off and moving away and get away, and you're looking at the teacher going, I'm going to tell the teacher. Meanwhile, the teacher kind of knows, right? Because they're sitting there looking at the playground and they're going, is that kid going to stand up for himself or not? This is the great light, the great up above. And that's the thing. We're really being tested at this point. Are we going to follow our truth and our ability to be free in the future? Or are we going to let people, harness us in that way? Even though the energy is being struck from above, it is still on the earth playing out, right? On the above, we have limited and, limited the moves that they can move. They can no longer do all or affect as many as they were before, but they still got, it's like going from a crowd in a theater, and then suddenly then you're in your living room and you only got 5-6 people you can influence. But we're still influencing those 5-6. This is what's going on. And eventually we're going to be seen for what we are, So it's just really, the Queen of Air is just really, that is someone who has great boundaries, and they are willing to protect those boundaries. And the bird of paradise here, I want to say that. Because as we go into and we stand up for our rights and abilities here, it will be paradise as we move forward. It will slowly begin to unfold as we slowly begin to take power back. Alrighty, as we go back to the Lunar Queen, again, the revealing, the desire to reveal all that is. Again, we're in our instinct at this time. We know grounded instinct, our gut feelings, everything's going off, stomach aches and whatever. Some people are highly involved with people that are highly in dark energy and highly being affected. This is where you can make your mark. So on top of the desire to know what's going on here, we have 44 playful. And interesting, the double numbers, 44, 20 desire. The sense here is to make sure we stay in our light energy. They don't want you to get too far. Again, flung is very much, I moved over to TikTok there. It's a big challenge. But anyway, a lot of what my reading that came out today, this was one of the cards that came out. Playful. Keep it light. Keep it moving. Because again, stay true to who you are and stay in your power, and don't let anybody pull you into darkness. I feel like that's where the playful card comes in, is don't let people rile you up, get you angry, get you mad. And if you're triggered by things, and again, 90% of it's going to be from the television or, media in that way. It's going to be there. So if you have a hard time with that, you're triggered, get away from it, and that'll block it right out, 95%. Just live in the moment in your universe and shut that off. And what do you know? Whew, I feel free. I feel like I can stretch. I can move. I don't feel stressed. Okay. So magic and ritual. Again, the great balance is going to be struck here as we move into this new year. What do we have on there is 8 and vision. And this, they have the name Aphrodite. And that speaks to me, it speaks to love in a way. And they wouldn't bring it up if that's not what. So just give me a minute here. Yeah, again the moon, right? We're going again the moon. But here our stance is less fierce. Look at, because here we are holding tools and whatnot, like we gotta fight, fight to gain, right? Gain clarity. Here we are starting to feel more comfortable in our field. Yeah, you know what? It is what's going on. I don't need validation. That's a big thing. Between the energies and the path that I've been on spiritually, away from this reading a bit, I have had, I mean, how many years? Started in 2012, 11 really, but 2012, I officially, because for that first whole year, I couldn't believe, I thought I was going nuts. I thought I was just, what is this song in my head? What is this stuff in my head? What is going on with me? It took me a whole year to validate the fact that this is just a part of a spiritual advancement, a spiritual movement, and to trust. I'm still learning to trust. Still. I don't know that I ever will 100%, but I'll tell you, they've proved to me, and I don't ever close my eyes and rest on that. I don't ever close that voice coming in, because the moment you rest on that's when these trickster energies come in. And they utilize that because they're just waiting for you to put your defenses down and not be all in. Kind of go on autopilot. They're just waiting for that. This point is too late because people are just not, those that are evolving, right, are not playing into that anymore. But anyway, the vision here, the sense is we're going to be hit by the clairvoyant bug is really what they're giving me so far. Use that in one of the readings on TikTok today. The clairvoyant bug is going to hit everybody. It's going to infect everybody to a degree that we're going to have so much vision of the future in a different way than we've been programmed to deal with, that it's really going to take over. And again, the secrets are going to come from within and go without, and then that's the first stage of manifestation. And these are good things, is what I'm getting. As long as we keep our energy good and high and vibrant, we will start to pick up on that flow. And then that flow is really a carpet that wants to roll out for you in your future. And it can, as we go into the 222. 2-2 is the master builder number. And where do we build? In our imagination. This is what we're talking about. Okay, next card. Queen of Air, again, is staying in her power. This woman, she has boundaries, right? And man, she has boundaries and whatnot. They're telling me, look at her eyes. It almost looks like a Pisces symbol in there. I don't know if you can see it. Almost looks like a Pisces symbol. I don't know if it is. But anyway, yeah, my camera. Can you zoom? No. But anyway, give me a moment here. Are they trying to... Certain signs, yeah, they're going... Pisces, one of them, right, is spiritually connected. Yeah, it is the Pisces symbol. That's interesting because this is air we're talking about. Could also be part of the Gemini symbol as well. So there's something to be said about those two signs. Now, give me a moment here. Guiding, leading the way. We may have, instinctive. Okay, just give me a minute. Yeah, what they're telling me is the Gemini is the symbol of air. Again, maybe the strongest in moving from what their instinct is saying. And the Pisces, I was picking up a while back that the Pisces are very much in rejection, but the Pisces is really going to come out of the gate first here because they are gonna take action, and because universally they're smiled upon, and because they're in the Pisces energy, they're gonna get the farthest, the quickest, when they decide to tap into that energy wholeheartedly. I feel like they're kind of wandering around, not knowing what lane, but when they hit that lane, man, they're off. So this is what they're telling me there. Now, I have, on top of that, again, stay true. Don't let people pull you off your path. Stay in the moment, be in the moment, and do what you can do on this earth at this time, and stand in your power and right to do that. On top of that, we get, this is where we're at right now, I feel. We feel trapped, right? And these crows, man, they are smart beings. They have a brain and they can use it. And not only that, it's only a matter of time before they get out of there, is the sense they're giving me. We may feel trapped at this time, but it is an illusion, da da da. Okay, so we understand that to a higher degree. Now, as we move on, they wanted the Lenormand cards, and the Lenormand, I feel like there's going to be a sting here. I don't look at the cards before. I shuffle them upside down and pick, and then then we go from there. So we'll go through on the playful desire, the Lunar Queen, all the secrets being exposed. What do we get there? Look at again. The white owls, man. White owls. And it's interesting, a friend of mine had sent me a thing, one of those things that goes through media about the new energy coming in. And the white owls is a symbol of spirituality. Not only that, connection to spirit. And, suddenly it's like, someone in your range here buys a Volkswagen, and then suddenly you're seeing them everywhere. It's like that. They were there all along, but our ability to look at them now and pay attention to what they're doing and utilize this as we move forward, that's a deeper rein on the spirituality here. Again, being playful and in high vibration is an integral part of connecting to the higher wisdom. So I'm going to keep it that simple. So as we go to the magic and ritual, the vision, again, a lot of us are going to be downloaded with clairvoyant abilities here. This is just where we're going. It's going to be in the repertoire. Everybody's going to have it. Everybody's going to have access. The only ones that won't are going to be the ones that don't want it, that cannot handle that. And they may be of the dark themselves, period, and just kind of rumbling around in there. So again, a great sense of clairvoyance hidden. That's the next step. First step, I think, was kind of telepathy and the ability to kind of pick up on stuff, even though we didn't realize it was. We're kind of going, nah, it's not. It's just my head going, maybe that's what they're thinking. But again, when it comes out of left field, that's a good hint that, yeah, it's, if it wasn't in our mind process, where did it come from, right? Okay. On top of the vision, we get the bridge. Yeah, 38. We're going to bridge that gap to get us to where we need to be. The gap before was we can't foresee the future. We cannot tell. We were completely blinded or blocked. They're showing me like dead end. We cannot make sense of where we were, where we headed, da da da. So now we're going to bridge that and see. It's like it's the fog is lifting, and suddenly we're seeing 3 miles ahead instead of just, 50 feet, right? It's like the fog's lifting, and suddenly we can see the whole countryside, and everything's going to. And I feel like for some people that will be in abilities, in a way of gaining abilities that we just haven't had before. And oh my goodness, how is it opening my path here? Because suddenly I'm seeing things or including things that I never included before that kept me short-sighted. This is where the light, what's the word? Sorry. Prevails. Yeah. Prevails, but also flourishes, This is where it flourishes. Because the darkness, even though they believe in kind of, instinct and whatnot, they're penalized for what they do, so karmically, and because they're in that mentality, they just don't gain, right? They don't gain any extra foresight. And that, see, there's one way I've heard this, and so far it's rung true, and you might have to comment in the comments if you found this to be different, because I would like to hear from you if you did. But people that do harm, whether knowingly or unknowingly, you can do psychic attack stuff. Some people can when they're unevolved, right? When they do not know, or they and then there's some people that do it knowingly, and they get charged heavily for that, but they don't realize it because they're only at step 5. So they figure step 5 is above everybody else. They don't understand. So they keep doing that and staying at step 5. They don't get more abilities and more insight. You are rewarded spiritually for doing good. You just are. And I'm proof of that because I try and stay on that line. And there are blurred lines. Oh, don't get me wrong. And I've had my fingers smacked by experience. And I continue to do so until I learn what is, and the lines get finer and finer as you go down. Your morality has to be quite high in order to, so if you're just not hanging with the moral crew here, you're just not going to get this stuff. But the vision will come for those that have a moral fiber in order to deal with it. And that's the problem with the magic and the ritual, because they're doing it on the dark side. They just ain't going to gain. But anyway, I was trying to say here, we're bridging over our abilities. We're going to see clearer. All the fog that's, keeping all those mountains out of view are going to lift, and we're going to see spectacular things. So there's that. Now, on top of the trapped energy, and I feel like this is the current energy, so I feel like this one's going to relate to that as well. Ooh, okay. We have the man of passion now. Give me a moment here. We have the Queen of Air, who is going boldly in limiting ways to their future. Not limited for them, but limited for those outside of us will no longer be allowed to infiltrate our field unless they are of light and love and da-da-da. So this is what the Queen, I have to resort back to her. This is what the Queen is trying to accomplish. She is trying to accomplish ultimate unification, okay? There are some trapped energies here, no less, okay? She's trying to get to her home, and the home is unification with all that is, and we are trying to see and lift from all that is keeping us trapped. Now, we have this man of passion. This is a weird note to leave it on. They're really telling me this is the passionate, okay, just give me a minute here. Oh, man. This man can be a symbol of darkness. Okay, just bear with me here. I'm trying to unload this in a simple way. He can be, because he's overwhelmed. He is strongly going forward, looking for what he needs to look for. Now, the Queen is behind him in energy. Now, this does not mean... I do feel they're on different tracks. I feel like this masculine does not connect with this feminine, because she's up in the crowds and he is very grounded in his sexual energy. Okay, I'm just... Sorry, I got to bring it in here. That may be a symbol of what here? Yeah. That may be a symbol here. Sexuality, they're using sexuality as a symbol of retention, because when we are spiritually evolved, there is no aggression in that way. There is no, we rise above these lower frequency vibes. Now, he is looking at the bridge to rise above that in order to gain more of a spiritual aspect toward life here, because we may have had too many masculines in the energy of fear, aggression. No, take fear out of it. Aggression, going out, getting what I want, taking it, pulling it back. I feel like this is going to kind of bleed into the masculine and feminine report, but no less. This is a symbol of the light and dark, is really how I'm feeling it. And the darkness is the aggression and the passion, but the passion on the wrong end. We don't have a passion for light. We have a passion to attain things, beat people over the head when they're doing wrong, physically going outward, getting what we want, and physically going outward and destroying things that we don't want. Even though we don't understand it on a spiritual level at all, we're doing this. Okay, this is what I feel from him. This is what's keeping him trapped. This is what's keeping him trapped. This one here is trapped in a different way, of a higher evolution process, but still trapped. Okay, so that's kind of a bit of a peek into the masculine feminine, but nonetheless, we're trying to bridge that gap. And again, I was saying we're going into from a masculine energy field to a positive, heart-centered field, which we can attribute to feminine aspect. But again, masculine and feminines can go back and forth into this energy doesn't necessarily mean that you're masculine, you're negative, and you're feminine, you're positive, or whatever, vice versa. It just means that there's an aggressiveness here that needs to be tamed. And look at him looking at the bridge. How do I bridge over that to gain my wisdom? This is what the masculines are being forced to look at this time, because again, those that are in dark energy are realizing it's not attaining, we're not getting what we want here. We may have to evolve. So I feel like this is the energy backed into a corner. We might have to evolve here to actually get somewhere. So there may be a sense of doing this. And again, I feel like this masculine is trapped by that energy and realizes that he has to move in order to attain something that he wants. Again, this can be on a political, government, individual, romantic, really, it could be in any level, friendship levels even. But stay true and be in your power, and that's really what this one has to figure out. I feel like this one's figured this out, but now we've come to another precipice, but now we have other challenges that we have to overcome in that way, and that is spirituality based. This one here, it's just physical based. I want to attain this, I can't get this. Where is it? How do I get it? We have to evolve, and we have to listen to our inner instinct. Then we will gain more in this area, and a lot of it has to do with gaining our vision and becoming more light and airy with things. They're telling me to do this because we have to create boundaries in order to create a balance, not only within our own spirit, but to create harmony with those around us. And then as we do this, we will desire new things, and as we also take time to appreciate and commune and oversee, right? Because it's showing me the hawk's eye here. When you're flying, they have a vision where they can see a little mouse through a bush of trees, and they will go in there from above, right? And that's what we have to get, the higher perspective to create balance and the boundaries. And again, your power, create magic and rituals. We can create this in a good, light-hearted way. We absolutely can. And then this will start to disappear. That ring that we're stuck in will start to disappear the more that we evolve into the light. Now, there are some that just will refuse to do this, and they will continue to be bound. But those that release, they will gain keys, keys to wisdom and also powers as well to move forward. But our truth is the heart of it. Okay, there it is. That is your spiritual reading. Now, I had a native spirit card I wanted to go over, but firstly, they wanted me to go over the energies of the sixes, right? Because we're going into a 6th year coming up here and over the new year. So the first card of the tarot that correlates with 6 is the number 6, which is attached to the Lover's card. And again, I was greatly feeling, and now when I pulled that, it suddenly all the pieces come together. It's like, oh, that's why we're pushing the connectedness. That's why. Because we're in a 6, and the 6 is connected to Lovers. And what do? We want the universe to be light and fluffy. We want the universe to be happy. How do you create that? You give partners to each other, and you feel love for one another. And what do you know? Things just blow up from there. So we'll go through. I'll put the Lovers up here, like hovering over the reading there, because this is about the joining of those that are, love, high frequency, whatnot. Now, the first card we come across kind of went from negative to positive, so to speak. 6 of Swords is one of the cards here that we start with. Now, this card, the initial meaning is leaving a situation that no longer serves us. This woman and her child are leaving, maybe the husband beat her, maybe she just was not respected, not appreciated in a relationship, so now she's moving off to find a new life. And they're saying, we have the turbulent water kind of symbolizing, we had turbulence and we're trying to move away from it. And those swords standing in that way can also mean spiritual protection. We may be doing this on the quiet, like kind of gravitating to our corners. That's bad, so I'm going to stay away from it. We're not going to create havoc. We're not going to create struggle and strife. We're just going to slowly move away and separate from that which does not serve. So again, this is a lot of what this new year is going to give you the opportunity, one, to cash in on, moving away from things that we don't want or no longer serve us in a highly spiritual way. And also, this is what they are going to be pushing at you, whether we tap into it or not, intuitively, this is going to be in your field. So the next card, Six of Wands, that's about taking action and whatnot. We will be highly rewarded once we move away from our struggles, right? And that is success. That can be ego. That can be finally attaining what it is that we want. She's taken her final round there and she's got her wreath symbolizing the victory and the success that has been gained by overcoming some kind of obstacle here. So I feel like if we're going to kind of read this like a reading, the Six of Swords is really about moving away from the negative, and then suddenly, what do you know, our universe becomes more successful and we become more triumphant because literally we're just doing this. Now, the next six we have is the Six of Cups. Now, this is, Swords is about thoughts and things that can go on in the ethers. Six of Wands. Wands is about taking action and movement. And then the Cups is about the emotional center, right? Physical, mental, physical, emotional. So the emotional center here, this can be about nostalgia. This can be about friendship, about giving and loving and caring. Highly relates to this card as well. When you have these two in a reading, that's like a soulmate wanting to give forward to you. This can be about things of our past coming back. We may have people that we moved away from because they're negative energy, but we may also have things coming back from our past that are of a positive frequency, that we may have been tied up in these things here, trying to get away from that we can pay all our attention in the right way. They're always guiding me. Pay attention to the right things, the good things. These are two children. What is more pure than a kid giving another kid a rose? Like, I remember seeing with my son, little incidences, with children, that you learn so much. There was an incident where, I don't know, I was in the house cooking or whatever, and the kids out playing with the other kids, like they were, I don't know, 6 or 7-ish. And I managed to catch him in a moment that I just beamed so proudly. There was a girl that we had a chain link fence around the back of my property, and the girl had run, I don't know, they were playing, and she got strung up on the chain link fence on her coat. And my boy, all these kids were running away, and my boy went back and he helped her, but all the other kids took off. Helped her get on thing, and he checked on her. He said, "Are you okay?" She says, "Yeah." And then off they went. But it was just a little moment, and that's kind of like that. It's like, are you okay? The love and the light kind of shining in our, it may not be for everybody to see, like the Six of Wands. Six of Wands is going on a victory lap. Like you got an audience. Everybody's looking at you. This is one-on-one. I see you and I care for you, and that is a tender moment, and it's very intimate between two people. So, needed to be said. These are the moments we're going to come across in the new year. These are possibilities. These are amplifications that can happen at any moment in any given day. The Six of Pentacles is the last and final of the sixes here. So the Six of Pentacles is about the balance, right? That balance is going to be struck one way or another. And again, they ended it with that, right? And again, light and dark. This is what they're talking about. Now, give me a minute to kind of tie this all up. I do feel, and I'm going to go out and venture and say this, there's going to be a lot of soulmates coming together in this new 222 season. People, I'll tell you, yeah, I think we're going to get into it on the masculine and feminine report, which is coming up. But anyway, the bottom line here is, if anybody's trying to stop a love that is fated, it just will not happen. And anybody is trying to stop someone from being loving, that's not going to happen, because the love will win out. So much so that it has to counterbalance all the dark that's undercover, that's in illusion. That's first got to rise to the surface, which it is slowly doing this at this time. And as that rises to the surface, so will the loving and caring intentions of those, it's so hard to express what I'm getting, but I just mind meld everything outwards, just because it's like, as we get exposed to the darkness and all its secrets, people will just spontaneously realize that there is a worth here in being more loving to our fellow men. That is it. On the ground of the universe, we're not going to explode in that way, and justice will come upon those that are not in the right mode, but we are going to focus more intently on one-on-one connections with people, and through that we'll be victorious, and again moving away from those that are not of the same frequency, so that we can be in a loving vibe, and from above this is smiled upon, because they are trying to get those that are in true love vibe together. If you're not in a love vibe, you just like minds. This is what I'm getting. Okay, so that is cool. That was cool. Cool trip we went. Okay, now the native spirit card. I'm gonna peace pipe. What do you know? That's a peace pipe. Just give me a minute here. I gotta. Yeah, feathers, right? About still keeping it light. Peace pipe. You share that with another. They smoke and they kind of chill out, right? Chill out, and you feel that energy frequency difference, and when you share that with someone, there's a bond that we are going to stay in peace. We're going to keep things light, and we're not going to have battering of egos where we're struggling to fight. You're an enemy and no, this is not. So the peace pipe, the one thing they made me notice was the countryside here. Great nature, right? And doesn't nature just fluidly create peace on its own? I can go out into the backwoods in the forest and touch a tree and sit there, and I'm suddenly in peace. You could be in the city all your life and not gain that. Or you can go into a park within the city and suddenly you feel the peace. This is what I feel like. This is also universal energy, what they're overloading you with, what they're counterbalancing you with, because we may not be in peaceful energy. We may not feel good. We may have a lot of anxiety. We may have all of these things that are anti-peace. And the universe is saying, we're shooting as much peace at you as we can. Try not to actively go in a non-peaceful way. Try to be of peace as much as you can in your life, because we will play our part, and if you play your part, then we will gain that peace that we need so much at this time, in order to not be, like, quit poking me, like the kid in the car, quit poking me. Do I have to separate you two? Yes. And you know what? You have to go and gravitate to those that are the same, and that's that boundary card, right? Yeah, we're going backwards. That's the boundary. This woman, she puts up boundaries, and men, to keep peace, to keep her own peace, her own sanity. That was a quote from one of my reading. And, and not only that, she's following the instinct of the bird of wisdom. And what do you know? It may just create the peace she needs and the balance in her life and his life, in order to move forward peacefully and to gain that. And if we are someone who has never felt peace, they want you to feel that. They want you to go there. They want you to indulge in that. And if we feel trapped, we need to get out into an area where we don't feel this. And we need to indulge more in this way. Now, I'm going to read from the book on this. Peace pipe here, A, B, C, D, E, F. Elemental P. Okay. And it says the official meaning. It says, heal old wounds with people and situations. Carefully do whatever you need to do to make amends. Forgive yourself and forgive others. It's time. You no longer need to carry the burden. You are a mender. Help others mend bridges in their lives. You bring peace to the world. And look at them go back on bridging to make peace, right? In the native traditions, sharing a peace pipe filled with sacred tobacco and herbs was a way of finding common ground and dropping discord. It was a respite in order to calmly assess the situation and find a peaceful resolve. There are times to drop everything and leave, and there are also times to carefully mend bridges with people, situations, and places. This is one of those healing times, and maybe there is a wound inside you that needs to be forgiven or accepted. Or maybe you need to forgive yourself or forgive another. Transform the inner grievance. Do it now. You don't need to forgive the act, but there's power in forgiving the person. You no longer need to carry it with you. Perhaps there's a person from your past. Perhaps there's a person from your past, oh man, with whom you should reconnect. You know what you need to do. So this is the time to do it. Look at them just line this all up. Okay. So there's a journey. There's an action that you can take in a peaceful kind of way. And this is what they suggest. It says, write down the answer to these questions. If there was an area of my life to which I need to bring peace, what might that be? That's question number 1. Number 2, what's the first step that I need to take towards resolving a rift with another or a feeling of unfinished regarding a person or situation? That's 3. And then, so that's 2. And then 3 is to take action on those things that you find out there. To give yourself a moment. I'm going to read that last one again because they're going, read it again slowly. What's the first step that I need to take toward resolving a rift with another or feeling unfinished regarding a person or situation? And when you find out what that is, you need to take action on it. So, wow. Okay, this is heavy duty, man. Heavy duty. Over this time, soulmates are coming together to create success because we're moving away from things that no longer suit. And all the while, keep your peace. This will help you, and it will advance you forward. Nobody gets anywhere by aggression and violence. I'm learning that the hard way. But peace, right? This, just give me a minute here. They're trying to translate, I'm trying to translate what they're giving me energetically, which is the more that we are able to create peace for ourselves, the quicker we get to areas that are of heart as well. So, like, when we create the great peace of body, mind, and soul, which is a challenge in itself in the world that it is, we have to recluse ourselves away from the chaos, create a peaceful, zone within. Like, even if we have just a certain area of our home, or a corner of our home, or corner of a basement, or even in the bathroom, in the tub, where it is quiet, and we can create peace, like bath salts or, low lighting, whatever it is that creates, or just plants. Like for me, everything's plants. Like if I was in the tropics, I'd be living, like plants would be everywhere. This creates, I feel that, I think what it is I feel the energy from the plants, and I feel how much they are in cohesiveness with the universe. They really have to give in order to survive. But it's in complete harmony. There is no disharmony. On the universe, there's complete disharmony, and we live like this. We can live complete disharmony for a long period of time, and we're sick, and we deplete, and we deplete, and we deplete before we, don't function no more. In plants, I think this is very instantaneous. There's no water, we die, boom. It doesn't take as long. Anyway, I'm not going to get into the plant scenario here, but the bottom line is find a place that creates peace for you. Actively work on making peace in your life, in your home, in your mind, in your heart, in your soul. Whatever you need to do to create that, do that so you can move forward. Because for some, this may be a block to get you to your passion, because we just can't get over things that create passion in a bad way. Okay. Whew. Okay, 101 here. We're done. This was heavy, and I could go on and all these tangents they're showing me. But the bottom line is we're coming out of passionate energy. In order to, I'm getting bottom lines all over the place here. In order to get into a spiritual place, and we got to go from a physical, passionate, negative energy to spiritual enlightenment and knowledge, at least, to create a balance within that. And then we will start to gain vision and desire in a new way, playful energy, increase the vibration, and we're flying. Okay, it's all good. It's all good in the hood. Hey, this has been your reading. Man, they just shot me with a little bit there. So it's all good. We're going to fly and we're going to soar and we're going to gain our wisdom. We are getting our wisdom, so utilize it. Take care, guys. Happy New Year. That's my Miniko cat there. I think that's, I don't know what his name is, but that's what I named my cat after. And that is good luck. So I wish everyone good luck over the new year. You really don't have to work for it because it's going to be there sitting for you, because this is what they want you to manifest. And again, don't, what's the word? Don't resist any of your clairvoyant abilities, because these are going to be shooting highly through the new year. So take care, guys. Have fun. Be kind. And we will talk to you soon.